Dear students, we have already started with electrochemistry chapter and have discussed electrochemical cell, electrode potential, Nernst equation, conductivity and molar conductivity. And in the last class we have discussed various factors affecting conductivity. And children, conductivity, as you already know, is of two types. One is metallic and other is electrolytic conductivity. But in chemistry, we'll talk about electrolytic conductivity only. Let us see what is the effect of concentration on conductivity and on molar conductivity. First of all, we'll discuss effect of concentration on conductivity of an electrolyte. It is a very important question. It has been asked in the board examination several times. Beta, you know what is conductivity? Let me revise quickly. Conductivity is actually the conductance of one unit volume of the solution. So if you remember, this is a container in which two electrodes are kept, and area of cross section of both the electrodes is unity, and distance is also unit. So the volume which is kept between the two electrodes is actually unit volume. The conductance offered by all the ions which are present in this unit volume, that is called as conductivity. Beta, conductance, which is G, is related to conductivity, that is kappa, in this manner. G conductance is equal to conductivity into A by L. And as I have told you, there is a solution here in this container which is 1 molar solution. 1 molar means 1 mole which is dissolved in 1 liter of solution. Now what happens if you add some more amount of water? It is 1 mole of solution which is present in 1.2 liter of solution. If you add further 500 ml of water into this, what will happen? Now 1 mole of solute is present in 1.7 liter of solution. So shall I say volume is increasing continuously and number of ions present per unit volume is decreasing. So conductivity is the conductance of 1 unit volume of the solution which is kept between these two electrodes. So as you keep on decreasing the concentration, number of ions per unit volume decreases, hence conductivity decreases. So what is the effect of concentration on conductivity? You will say conductivity, which is kappa, decreases with decrease in concentration because number of ions present per unit volume decreases by decreasing concentration. Children, let's talk about molar conductivity. So what is the effect of concentration on molar conductivity of an electrolyte? Do you remember what we have done about molar conductivity? Molar conductivity is represented by lambda m. While determining molar conductivity, we talk about 1 molar solution which is kept between the two electrodes. So it is the conductivity of 1 mole of ions which are present between two electrodes, and these two electrodes they are one unit distance apart, and their area of cross section should be large enough so that they may contain that volume of the solution which is kept between two electrodes, and that should contain 1 mole of ions. So molar conductivity, generally we say it is kappa into that particular volume which contains 1 molar solution or 1 mole of ions of solute. There are two factors which affect the molar conductivity, that is lambda m. One, you may say it is degree of dissociation. I may say like how many ions are produced at a particular concentration. Another factor is mobility of ions. I'll discuss both the factors in detail. But before that, I'll discuss a term which is called as limiting molar conductivity. See, what is limiting molar conductivity? It is represented by lambda m naught. Lambda m is molar conductivity. Naught means when the concentration approaches to 0. There is a term lambda mc. It means molar conductivity at a particular concentration. This concentration could be 1 molar, 0.1 molar, 0.5 molar, 2 molar, 5 molar. But when I write down lambda m0, it means molar conductivity when concentration approaches to 0. So this limits the molar conductivity, and this is the highest value. I'll discuss it in a minute. So we call it as limiting molar conductivity. So you write down it is molar conductivity when concentration of solution approaches to 0, limits to 0. I'm not saying it is equal to 0. Concentration of solute cannot be 0. It only approaches to 0. It is very near to 0. So it means, shall I say, when the solution is very diluted or when the concentration is negligible. So we also say it as molar conductivity when dilution is infinite, when concentration is just near to 0, approaches to 0, very, very, very low concentration, infinite amount of dilution is there. Children, let's talk about effect of concentration on molar conductivity of an electrolyte in two subtopics. One of them is for strong electrolyte. There is an equation which is called as Debye-Huckel equation. It says that lambda m is equal to lambda m naught minus a under root c. This gives the relation between limiting molar conductivity and molar conductivity at any concentration. It may be C. I can write down here. If you plot a graph here between under root C and molar conductivity at any concentration, you will see the graph comes out to be like this. It's a kind of straight line graph. And what is the equation for straight line graph? Y is equal to mx plus c. C I'll discuss in a minute. Y is lambda mc, molar conductivity at different concentration, is plotted on the y-axis. X is equivalent here to under root c, that is plotted on the x-axis. So at different concentration, c raised to the power half, at different concentration lambda mc is plotted and graph comes out to be like this. And what is the slope of the graph? Slope of the graph is minus a. And C is the intercept, which is lambda m naught, which I will discuss it here. See what happens in case of strong electrolyte, like if you talk about NaCl, KCl, or sodium nitrate, or KNO3. These all are strong electrolyte. Here the degree of ionization is complete at all the concentration. Whether the concentration is 1 molar, 2 molar, 5 molar or 0.1 molar, degree of ionization is complete, means they ionize completely. Generally we say 100%, although it is not 100%, but degree of ionization is complete. It means more and more number of ions are present at all the concentration. So you should have got a graph of something of this sort, but there is a decrease in the molar conductivity with increase in the concentration. Why is it so? You know, in case of strong electrolyte, degree of ionization is complete at all the concentration. Degree of ionization means number of ions which are getting ionized, that remains constant at all the concentration. But as you increase the concentration, more and more number of ions are getting ionized. There will be some inter-ionic attractions. More number of ions which are produced at the higher concentration will hinder the movement of ions, which is called as inter-ionic attractions. If more sodium ions and chloride ions are present at the higher concentration, they will not allow the movement of sodium and chloride ions from one electrode to the another one, because of inter-ionic attraction. Sodium ions will be attracted towards chloride ions. So due to higher concentration, as I have discussed here also, so molar conductivity depends on degree of dissociation, which is constant here, but mobility of ions will be less because more number of ions will hinder the movement or mobility of the ions. So with the increase in concentration, there is slight decrease in the molar conductivity of the solution. This is called as Debye-Huckel equation. So, you know, if I extrapolate this in the backward direction, it will touch here. And what is the concentration here? Here the concentration is 0. So molar conductivity at 0 concentration, or when the molar conductivity approaches 0, that is represented by lambda m naught. This is the highest value. It indicates that when concentration is very low, when the solution is highly dilute, then it has the maximum molar conductivity. So in case of strong electrolyte, I'll say with dilution, with decreasing the concentration, molar conductivity increases. Or I may say, if concentration increases, then molar conductivity decreases. But kaise? Marginally. There is marginal decrease in the molar conductivity by increasing the concentration. But always remember that lambda m naught, when the concentration approaches to 0, that molar conductivity has the maximum value here. What happens? I'll come back to this. What happens in case of weak electrolyte? One of the example of weak electrolyte is acetic acid. You may also take ammonium hydroxide, that is also a weak electrolyte. Now again you plot a graph between under root C, and on y-axis it is lambda m C. You know, if you plot the graph, it comes out to be something like this. Let me explain this. At this particular concentration, which is quite high, molar conductivity is very low. It is here. if you keep on decreasing the concentration, it means you are adding water to this. If you keep on adding water to this, you see there is an increase slightly, but when you reach to this concentration, there is suddenly a very high increase in the molar conductivity. Remember this, in case of weak electrolyte, when you decrease the concentration, degree of ionization increases. More and more number of ions are produced. Number of ions increases with the decrease in concentration. So you have a solution here, maybe 1 molar solution, 1 mole in 1 liter. It has some degree of dissociation. It has some molar conductivity. If I add more amount of water to this, now it is diluted. You will see there is more degree of ionization. More acetate and hydrogen ions are produced. And if you add further more amount of water to this, more number of acetate and hydrogen ions are produced. So degree of ionization increases means more number of ions are produced. More the number of ions, more the number of current carriers, more is the molar conductivity. So molar conductivity increases sharply by decreasing the concentration. So I'll write down, in case of weak electrolyte, molar conductivity increases sharply. There's a sharp increase when concentration decreases. Although the relation between molar conductivity and concentration is same, but here there is marginal increase, whereas here it is sharp increase in the molar conductivity. Why there is sharp increase? Because in this case there is no such factor of interionic interactions or interionic attractions. I'll write down here interionic attractions, which is responsible for marginal increase in the molar conductivity. Let me give you a data. Beta, look at this data. Let's talk about KCl first. It is a strong electrolyte. In case of strong electrolyte, at 0.1 concentration, molar conductivity is 129. If you decrease the concentration, I am decreasing the concentration. So graph is something like this. There is increase in molar conductivity. You see there is a marginal increase from 129 to 133. 0.05 से और further decrease किया 0.01, it is 141. और decrease करने से 143, 146, 147, 149. So you see here there is marginal increase in the concentration from 129 to 149. At what concentration? When concentration approaches to 0. So this is about strong electrolyte. That is why on the same lines, if you extrapolate this graph, it touches here, which gives you the molar conductivity at concentration C approaches to 0. Whereas in case of acetic acid, if you keep on decreasing the concentration on the same pattern, at 0.1, 5.2 is the molar conductivity. If you further decrease, it becomes 16.3. There is a sharp increase. Further it becomes 49.2, then it is 67.7, then again it becomes 390. So there is a sharp increase even if you further decrease the concentration. Do you know, even by further decreasing the concentration, is this graph ever going to touch the y-axis? No, because the pattern says it keeps on increasing further. It might be closer to this y-axis, but it is never going to touch the y-axis, rather it is parallel to this. So this pattern shows that in case of weak electrolyte, we cannot determine lambda m0. What is lambda m0? Limiting molar conductivity. What is limiting molar conductivity? The molar conductivity when concentration approaches to 0. कब approach करेगी 0 को? When it touches y-axis. Whereas according to the pattern, it is never going to touch the y-axis because it keeps on increasing and very sharply. So now let me summarize what is the effect of concentration on strong and weak electrolyte relatively. In both the cases, if you decrease the concentration, there is increase in the molar conductivity. In case of strong electrolyte, there is marginal increase, whereas in this case, there is sharp increase in the molar conductivity. Why there is marginal increase? Because in this case, degree of ionization doesn't play any role, because degree of ionization is same at all the concentration, because it is a strong electrolyte. Who plays an important role? Interionic attractions. With the increase in concentration, more number of ions are produced, and there will be steric hindrance for the movement of ions, which is responsible for interionic attractions. So that is why there is a small decrease in the molar conductivity with increase in concentration. Whereas in this case, when you decrease the concentration, when you dilute the solution, more and more number of ions are produced. And if more ions are produced, more is the conductivity of the solution, and there is sharp increase. In this case, interionic attractions are not playing an important role, rather degree of dissociation. I have told you earlier, there are two factors. One is degree of dissociation, other is mobility of ions. In first case, degree of dissociation is constant. Only interionic attractions, that is mobility of ions, is hindered due to presence of so many ions at high concentration. Whereas in this case, degree of dissociation plays an important role with decrease in concentration. Here comes a law which is called as Colles-Roche's law. It is Colles-Rausch. Colles-Roche's law. It is also called as Colles-Roche's law of independent migration of ions. Beta, it is applicable for strong electrolyte, and it is applicable when the concentration is very, very low. In case of NaCl, which is a strong electrolyte, what is the molar conductivity of sodium chloride? Molar conductivity of sodium chloride when concentration approaches to 0. It is written as lambda m naught. It is called as molar conductivity. Which molar conductivity? Limiting molar conductivity, because it limits the molar conductivity when the concentration approaches to 0. So lambda m naught is the limiting molar conductivity of NaCl, and it is found that it is the sum total of limiting molar conductivity of all the ions which are present in the solution. It means limiting molar conductivity of NaCl is the sum total of limiting molar conductivity of sodium ions and limiting molar conductivity of chloride ions. If I want to find out for calcium chloride, it is limiting molar conductivity of calcium chloride, which is equal to limiting molar conductivity of calcium ions plus limiting molar conductivity of chloride ions. But how many chloride ions are present? 2. So I'll write down this 2 here. If I want to find out the molar conductivity of aluminium sulfate, how will you find out? Limiting molar conductivity of aluminium sulfate is equal to the sum total of limiting molar conductivity of aluminium ions. How many aluminium ions? 2. So it has to be multiplied here, plus limiting molar conductivity of sulfate ions. And how many sulfate ions? 3. So this has to be multiplied by 3. So how will you define Colles-Roche's law? So you'll say limiting molar conductivity You know, as I have told you, concentration should be very low. That is why I am always writing limiting molar conductivity of a strong electrolyte is equal to the sum total of limiting molar conductivity of all the ions present in the solution. Why do we say independent migration of ions? When the concentration is very, very low, it means the solution is very, very dilute. Under such condition, each ion is moving independent of the presence of other ion. It means when sodium ions are moving as if they only are present, irrespective of the presence of chloride ion. Their movement of sodium ion is not affected by the presence of chloride ion, and vice versa. So all the ions are moving independently. They are giving their contribution independently towards the molar conductivity as if they are present alone. And how is it possible? Under what conditions? When the concentration is very, very low. That is why I have written here lambda m naught, where the concentration approaches to zero, which is called as limiting molar conductivity. Generally, I can write down lambda m naught for any electrolyte can be written as I can write down V plus lambda plus naught plus V minus lambda minus naught. V plus is number of cations, V minus is number of anions, lambda plus naught is the limiting molar conductivity of cations, and this is limiting molar conductivity of anions. Fine. We can find out the limiting molar conductivity of sodium chloride with the help of the graph. We have just discussed the graph. For sodium chloride, if you plot the graph between under root C and lambda mc, you will get somewhat this kind of graph, and if you extrapolate it here, you will get the value of lambda m naught. But suppose you want to find out the molar conductivity of acetic acid, which is a weak electrolyte, it is never going to touch the y-axis. You will never get the value of lambda m naught. Limiting molar conductivity of all weak electrolytes cannot be determined because they are never going to touch the y-axis. With the dilution, with more and more dilution, their value keeps on increasing. So how will you find out the molar conductivity of weak electrolytes? Let us see here applications of Colles-Roche's law. First application is to determine limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes. See how will you determine. I want to find out limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid, which should be equal to limiting molar conductivity of acetate ions plus limiting molar conductivity of hydrogen ions. And I will never get this limiting molar conductivity of a weak electrolyte. So I'll select such a strong electrolyte which contains acetate ions and some other strong electrolyte which contains hydrogen ion. In order to determine limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid, acetate ion I'll get from a strong electrolyte which is sodium acetate. So I'll write down lambda m naught of sodium acetate. And hydrogen ions I'll get from HCl, which is also a strong electrolyte. I'll add the two, lambda m naught of HCl. If I add the limiting molar conductivity of sodium acetate and HCl, and both of them are strong electrolyte, I'll get acetate ions from this and hydrogen ion from this. But somewhat is extra which is not required in order to determine the limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid. Sodium ions are extra and chloride ions are extra. So I'll subtract limiting molar conductivity of sodium chloride from this. So if I take such kind of combination of three strong electrolyte, which when added and subtracted in this manner, then I can find out the limiting molar conductivity of acetic acid. Let me explain how can you find out. Limiting molar conductivity of sodium acetate is lambda m naught of acetate ions plus limiting molar conductivity of sodium ions plus limiting molar conductivity of HCl means H plus ions plus limiting molar conductivity of chloride ions minus limiting sodium chloride limiting molar conductivity of sodium ions minus limiting molar conductivity of chloride ions. If you check here, chloride ion get cancelled, sodium ions are also getting cancelled, and finally you are getting acetate ions and hydrogen ions. So if you select three appropriate or some number of appropriate strong electrolyte in such a manner that when you add the two or subtract one of them, then you will get the molar conductivity of weak electrolyte also. But I'll give you one more example. If you want to find out limiting molar conductivity of barium hydroxide, what is it? Limiting molar conductivity of barium ions plus limiting molar conductivity of hydroxyl ions, and as there are two hydroxyl ions, so I'll write down 2 here. Now think about a strong electrolyte which contains barium ion. So I'll say lambda m naught of barium chloride. It is actually equal, this is a strong electrolyte, it is equal to the sum total of limiting molar conductivity of barium ions plus 2 into limiting molar conductivity of chloride ions. So from here we'll get barium ions. Where will you get hydroxyl ions? Beta hydroxyl ion, I'll get it from sodium hydroxide, which is also a strong electrolyte. So sodium hydroxide limiting molar conductivity is equal to limiting molar conductivity of sodium ions plus limiting molar conductivity of hydroxyl ions. So I have got hydroxyl ion, but there is only one hydroxyl ion, whereas I need 2 hydroxyl ions here. So I'll multiply this equation by 2 in order to get 2. But in this process, sodium ions are extra. I need only barium and hydroxyl ion, and sodium ions are extra, as well as chloride ions are also extra. So shall I subtract sodium chloride out of it? So molar conductivity of sodium chloride is lambda m naught of sodium ions plus lambda m naught of chloride ions. So I have got 3 equations, 1, 2 and 3. I have to add and subtract these 3 in such a way so that I get 1 barium ion and 2 hydroxyl ion. So if I write down here equation number 1, I need 2 hydroxyl ions, so I'll write down plus 2 into second equation, I'll get 2 hydroxyl ion, but in this process I'll get 2 sodium ions also, whereas 2 chloride ions are already extra. So I'll write down minus 2 into third equation. Let's do it. First equation is you have got lambda m naught of barium ions plus 2 into molar limiting molar conductivity of chloride ions plus, in second equation multiply by 2. So it is 2 into lambda m naught of sodium ions plus 2 into lambda m naught of hydroxyl ions माइनस इस थर्ड इक्वेशन को भी 2 से मल्टीप्लाई करना है और माइनस करना है, माइनस 2 इंटू लैम्डा एम नॉट ऑफ सोडियम माइनस 2 इंटू lambda m naught of chloride. You know, now these two chloride ions will be cancelled by this and these two sodium ions will be cancelled by this, and you will get here 1 mole of limiting molar conductivity of barium ions and 2 for 2 hydroxyl ions. So ultimately you will get here limiting molar conductivity of barium hydroxide, which is a weak electrolyte. So I have taken 3 strong electrolyte. In such a manner I have added, subtracted and multiplied so that I get molar conductivity of limiting molar conductivity of barium hydroxide, which is a weak electrolyte. So what is the application of Colorausch's law? One application is that now with the help of Colorausch's law, we can find out the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes also. Otherwise, graphically, we cannot find out. So with the help of limiting molar conductivity of strong electrolyte, we can determine limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolytes also. This is one of the application. See the second application. Second application is calculation of degree of dissociation. Alpha, degree of dissociation is represented by alpha. How can you determine alpha? It is actually the ratio of lambda mc upon lambda m naught. Lambda m naught is the limiting molar conductivity, or I may say it is the molar conductivity when concentration approaches to 0, tends to 0. So it limits the molar conductivity. It is the highest value of molar conductivity, and this is the molar conductivity at any concentration. So if you want to find out the alpha, that is degree of dissociation at a particular concentration, find out the molar conductivity at that concentration, divide it by the maximum value of molar conductivity, which is lambda m naught. You will get the value of alpha. So degree of dissociation can also be calculated with the help of molar conductivity at a concentration and limiting molar conductivity. And limiting molar conductivity can be calculated with the help of Colorausch's law for both strong as well as for weak electrolyte. Third application is calculation of dissociation constant of a weak electrolyte. You have done in class 11 that Kc value, equilibrium constant in terms of concentration, is equal to C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. So from electrochemistry, from conductivity values, I can determine Kc value also. Ka also equilibrium constant of acid. Kb also equilibrium constant for base also. So K is equal to C. Alpha I can write down here lambda mc upon lambda m naught square divided by 1 minus lambda mc upon lambda m naught. Beta, I would like to solve a numerical here related to this topic. Beta, at 291 Kelvin, it is given that limiting molar conductivities of ammonium chloride is 129.8. You know the units? It is Simon centimeter square mole inverse, and limiting molar conductivity of NaOH, it is 217.4. again the units are same. Lambda m naught for NaCl is also given to you, and its value is 108.9. and one more thing is given. If the molar conductivity of centimolar solution of NH4OH, they are saying molar conductivity of NH4OH, ammonium hydroxide, it is not given here. So molar conductivity of ammonium hydroxide is actually 9.33, and the units are same. Simon centimeter square mole inverse at what concentration? That is centimolar solution. At 1 centimolar solution. When you say 1 centimolar, centi means, you know, centi means 1 into 10 raised to power minus 2 molar, which is equal to 0.01 molar. And we are supposed to find out, one is percentage dissociation they are asking, and other is calculate the dissociation constant. What is dissociation constant? It is actually Ka. So these two things we need to find out. For percentage dissociation, which is alpha, so we need to find out alpha. In order to find out alpha, we need to know lambda m naught also. Lambda mc is given at a particular concentration. Molar conductivity is given. This is lambda mc. So for ammonium hydroxide, lambda mc is given, but we need to find out lambda m naught. And how to find out lambda m naught for ammonium hydroxide? Lambda m naught for ammonium hydroxide is, this is a weak electrolyte. Ammonium ion will get from ammonium chloride, which is a strong electrolyte, and hydroxyl ion will get from sodium hydroxide. But in this process, sodium and chloride will be extra. So if you add the two and subtract the third one, so what will I do? Limiting molar conductivity of ammonium chloride plus limiting molar conductivity of NaOH minus limiting molar conductivity of sodium chloride. If you do it in such a manner, you know, then sodium ions will be cancelled, chloride will be cancelled, and what is left? Ammonium and hydroxyl ion. So just do it and you will get here. So ammonium chloride is 129.8 plus 217.4 minus 108.9, and it comes out to be, if you calculate, 238.33. How will you calculate alpha? You have just seen here lambda mc upon lambda m naught. Lambda mc is given to us, which is 9.33. So it is 9.33 upon, and lambda m naught we have just calculated, it is 238.33. It comes out to be 0.0392. As they are asking percentage dissociation, multiply this by 100, you will get here 3.92%. But they are also asking dissociation constant, which is Ka. How will you calculate Ka? Ka is C alpha square upon 1 minus alpha. C is 1 centimolar solution. Centimolar is 1 into 10 raised to power minus 2, which is 0.01 into alpha we have just calculated, which is 0.0392 whole square divided by 1 minus 0.0392, and it comes out to be, if you solve this, it comes out to be 1.599 into 10 raised to power minus 5. There are no units for equilibrium constant. So children, what we have done today, let's revise. Variation of conductivity with concentration. You know, conductivity decreases with decrease in concentration. Why? Because number of ions present per unit volume decreases by decreasing the concentration. This is a very, very important question. You must learn it. Then what is the effect of concentration on molar conductivity? Although generally we can say concentration decrease करने से molar conductivity increase हो रही है दोनों cases में, but strong electrolyte में there is marginal increase, whereas in case of weak electrolyte there is a sharp increase. In this case, interionic attractions means attractions between the ions, positive and negative ions, plays an important role, because with the increase in concentration there is hindrance in the mobility of ions as more number of ions are produced, whereas in this case when concentration keeps on decreasing with dilution, more and more degree of dissociation is there, more number of ions are produced, and more is the molar conductivity. Then we have discussed Colorausch's law. In this case, the point which is to be noteworthy is that each ion is moving independent of the presence of other ion when the concentration is very low. So that is why we are always talking about lambda m naught, which is the molar conductivity when concentration approaches to 0. Then what are the applications of Colorausch's law? We have discussed. One is to determine the molar conductivity, limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte also. Otherwise, we cannot determine the limiting molar conductivity of weak electrolyte. Just remember the graph. Graph says even if you keep extrapolating, it will be parallel to the y-axis. It will never touch the y-axis. And then the other application is degree of dissociation can be calculated as it is the ratio of lambda m c and lambda m naught, and we can also determine the Kc value, Ka value, Kb value, and this is one of the numerical. Beta, revise whole of the chapter and do the exercise question related to this topic. Thank you.